Do a one thumb push up, man.
Shoot! Okay.
So,
Okay, Freddie doing his thing. Okay.
yeah, I could do a one thumb push up now, and then what else?
So wait. When you say one thumb, do you mean like this, or do you mean like this?
I mean like this.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I could do that. I could pretty much do like a one arm pull up now, like this,
Nice.
without like grabbing it, but like that.
Uh-huh.
I've gotten a lot better at the handstand push up. Like I could do the handstand push ups without the wall. You know what I'm saying?
Awesome. Okay.
And then I finally figured out how to do that kip up with no hands. You remember when you did that when we were doing that fight scene? You're holding the bull staff, and then you just get up off the ground after you fall down. You just jump back up.
Yes. Oh, you got it.
Yeah.
Nice.
I finally figured that one out.
Awesome.
I'm just getting better at that.
Hey, you're training hardcore, man. That's good.
Yeah, man.
Like your life, man. That's good.
And I'm trying to up my bench. Like I did 255 yesterday. I wanna try to get like over 265.
Man, when it comes to weights, I'm actually about probably running out of time now. I should still have a little time. I'm probably about to hit up the gym right now, just a hotel gym. It's not a real gym or anything.
Oh, okay.
Trying to get out. But anyways, I was gonna say I'm trying to hit up weights more often too now. You know, the thing with me, man, I don't know if it's because of the food I've been eating or something like that, if I need more antioxidants or something, but inflammation, man, in my body, like especially my hip area, I can't even kick like I used to be able to kick because there's so much inflammation going on in my hip area. And sometimes, like especially when I'm doing the tricep exercises,
yeah,
I feel inflammation in my elbows, especially the left one, you know? So then I got to slow down and stuff, you know? I don't know if it's because sometimes I'll take a break from working out, and when I go back to working out, I just go hardcore, you know?
It's because
I just... What's that?
So it's because you're getting old.
Yeah, you're right. I know, right? Nah, for real, dude. That's the point too, man. I have aches in my knees that I never felt before. Sometimes when I'm just going up the staircase normally, I'm like, wait a minute. I felt something in my knee, like, you know, never before. It's like I just know certain heights that I can jump down from and certain heights I shouldn't jump down from, you know? Yeah, man. Getting old, man. It's all part of it.
No, I just think you got the nutrition and then the exercise, man.
I think that's exactly what it is. So, I mean, one good thing I do is like mostly I try to stay within organic foods. I told you that a couple years ago.
Yeah.
But that is the one good thing I'm doing. But I just need a variety of nutrients, and I got to keep up on it, you know? Because sometimes I'll go a whole day without eating much.
But I think staying all crunched up in that cockpit all day messes you up too, though.
I think it does somewhat, yeah. But not enough for me to be having the problems I'm having. Other people don't have these problems. And I'm actually quite fit compared to a lot of other pilots.
Yeah.
I think it's a combination of things, you know. You gotta work out right, you gotta eat right, you gotta sleep right, and to an extent, I think your spirituality helps you as well.
Hey, I saw this article on the MSN. It like mass advertised it on the headline. It said like this off-duty pilot had his hands on like some girl's butt and shit. Did you see that one?
That's terrible.
Wait. Oh, it was on. You mean he had it? Was it the one where he had his hands in between this girl's legs on the plane?
Like he was like grabbing her butt.
Oh, what?
She was 14 years old, you know? And then he was like sitting next to her, and then she woke up, and then his hands was on her butt.
No, I heard it was between her legs, which would make more sense.
No, I don't know. It said on her butt, and then he was supposed to get like 5 years in prison.
I mean, it's not funny. It's not funny. Freaking 14-year-old. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah,
But I understood between her legs, and his excuse is that he was sleeping, and when he woke up, his hand was there. He woke up, I guess, because she started screaming, and when it woke him up, and his hand was there, you know. But I said to my mom when she told me, I'm like, can you imagine though? What if it were true? What if it was even true that he was being nasty with his hands?
Yeah.
But what if he was dreaming? What if he was doing it in his dream and didn't realize he was doing it in reality? You know what I mean? How are you gonna excuse that? Like, how are you gonna tell that to the court? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Man, it's crazy.
I don't know, man.
It's crazy though, man. his whole career is like ruined now. Like,
I know.
And he's gonna be in jail, man.
But yeah, 5 years, man. Although it is a good thing that people forget. People do forget almost no matter whatever you do. After a certain time passes, people forget. I have a pilot that we have these random tests, right?
Yeah.
So he had a random test and he blew a certain percentage of alcohol, right? I think it was like 0.06 alcohol on his blood, right?
Yeah.
And he was fired and he lost all of his pilot license, which is many pilot license and a lot of money. So he redid all of them again. And now the company may rehire him.
Well, you guys aren't allowed to have anything in your system?
It says, according to the Federal Aviation Administration, you can't have more than 0.04% of alcohol in your blood. According to our company, you can't have more than 0.02% of alcohol in your blood, or both for the FAA and for the company it says, or you cannot be under the influence of alcohol, or whatever that means. So that basically covers everything.
Hey, what do you think happens to that Malaysia thing?
Well, when I first heard it, I heard it from people in my church and basically friends. I didn't even get to hear the news yet. This is like 2 days later. And the first thing they told me is that it disappeared off radar and a stress call made. So the first thing when I heard those two things, I thought was hijack. Because no type of distress call, like, I don't know. Like, no matter, I mean, pilots are always different. Some are more calm, some more nervous when emergency happens. But for the most case, you have time to make a distress call, almost no matter what happens, unless something dramatic happened that just cut off all of your systems, which would have to be something dramatic. But anyways, the first thing I thought was hijack, and when they said it, but the fact that it went off a radar, they couldn't find it, that didn't move me at all. Like, I didn't think it was a big deal. Like, I think we forget with all of our technology today that God still has control over everything. If you don't believe in God, nature is still in control. We will never control the earth. You know, if all the water up north or down south if all the ice up north or down south melts, then our water levels will raise and our cities will be able to do nothing, you know? So anyways, what I'm trying to say, when I heard that the plane went missing, I was like, okay, and it's a huge globe. It's a big earth. I know that our technology makes everything seem much smaller, but we only know 5% of our waters. It's a huge earth. And it's not a big deal that a plane went, you know, that we still don't know where the plane is. I mean, it just proves that the earth is that big. Of course, like weather-wise, you know, we couldn't search 24 hours. And lights-wise, you know, sun goes up and down, but still, you know, it's a huge earth. So it didn't surprise me that, you know, that still to this day, we have no idea where that plane is. You know, the search area just widened again as of today.
Oh, yeah?
By another 40%. Yep. It's a big earth, man. We have no idea. I'm telling you, if what's that movie called, dude? Remember the one with the soundtrack with P. Diddy, and it was some type of Godzilla thing that came through New York out of the earth? Remember that movie?
Yeah. I can't think of what the name of it is, though.
I think it's God something.
Planet of the Apes?
No, it's God something. It was this God, like, it was a Godzilla looking like thing that came out of the crust of the earth.
Yeah.
Anyways, my point being, dude, we don't know 5% of our waters. I bet you we don't know 5% of what really is under the crust of our earth. You don't know. Okay, I'm talking crazy now, but really, we don't know. And I forget what I was trying to say with what I was saying, but I'm just saying, dude, we don't know our earth. You know what I'm saying? We always act like we know so much. And, oh, my gosh, we can't find this person. Oh, my gosh, we can't find Bin Laden, you know? Yeah. It's a huge earth, you know what I mean? What else do you expect, you know?
So do you still...
I know what I was going to say. I was going to say something stupid. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a Godzilla-looking like creature deep down in our oceans. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, because we know that little of our oceans, you know? You don't know. The blue whale is probably the biggest thing we know, but trust me, there's other things in there. The reason we know about the blue whale is because it comes to the surface once in a while. But we don't know what's down there, lurking down in the deep, you know? Yeah.
So are you saying you think that the plane was taken by Godzilla?
Yes. That's exactly what happened. And if you don't believe me, check out the plane. Oh boy, I have no idea what happened to that plane, dude, but I do know it's a big plane. It's a very safe plane. It's a very modern plane, and it has the most powerful engines in the airline industry when we're talking about passenger aircraft.
Right.
You know, like, I mean, something like a 747. I don't know how many pounds of thrust this engine's produce. It has 4 engines, but let me guess, it's probably something around 50,000 pounds of thrust.
Oh yeah.
Per engine, if that. And a 777, it can produce 115,000 pounds of thrust per engine. And that's derated. I mean, they can be uprated to like 127,000 pounds of thrust. So, you know, who knows what happened to that plane.
So do planes not have like GPS beacons on them or anything, or?
I guess not.
Like I could see why I could see a whole lot of different scenarios why it would go off a radar, but
exactly. I mean, it happens in normal operations sometimes too. Sometimes an air traffic controller, because there's air traffic controller per airspace, right? And sometimes when we're approaching the end of an airspace, the air traffic controller has to hand us over to the next air traffic controller that controls this airspace.
Right.
But usually before we get out of range, they have to hand us over a little earlier so we don't get out of their range. So we may lose that communication. We may be like in a no zone area, you know? And, you know, because they're controlling other aircraft, they're not constantly looking at us every second of the day, you know?
Yeah.
So if you happen to descend fast and within that time, or if you happen to fly behind a mountain or whatever, yeah, you're going to lose radar coverage. But no, what they're depending on right now is the ELT, the emergency locator transmitter, which just sends out a signal. And it's not really GPS, you know.
Yeah, no, it's more like a radar beacon, right?
Yeah, more like a radio signal, a transmission sent out. Yeah. And you have to fly within its range to find it.
Right.
If you're outside its range, you're not going to find it. So, in other words, no, we don't. We have a transponder, which is another type of radio, which sends out signals to the back and forth to the radar, and or vice versa, the radar to the transponder, and that's the way they depict us on the radar screens. But no, there's no GPS locator. If there was, they would have found it by now, you know.
Well, maybe, but you know, like you're saying, it's a big Earth, so there's a lot of places where, like, you know, if I take my cell phone, you know, there's not even enough signal for me to figure out where my GPS location is, you know.
True.
there might not be a satellite lined up in that area.
True.
But
true. Not that I know of, anyways. I don't think they have any type of GPS I mean, wait a minute. I mean, we use GPS and FMS, which is a very advanced GPS that calculates all types of things, performance and all that crap. And we use GPS coordinates all the time, so I guess maybe somehow you could backtrack it,
right,
and find us that way. But I'm sure they know what they're doing. If you could do that, I'm sure they would have done that. You know what I mean, though? Like, some films you can find. So probably, I guess you can.
Yeah, that's where I was confused. I was like, you know, the people on there must have had cell phones and stuff. I mean, I guess I could see a scenario where if it went in the ocean and it was kind of like outside of a lot of different satellite ranges, and it went in the ocean, you know, you're gonna have a hard time finding it by any kind of GPS locator.
Right.
I would think with all the different cell phones that must have been on the plane, plus the plane must have some kind of GPS itself. I would think if it was within range of any of that apparatus, it could have been easily located.
And then it happened to go lost in that kind of no zone area where they say the radar coverage is really bad. So that's kind of weird too. And then it's also weird that it took them 2-3 days to even report it. So there's a lot of weird things going on, man. I mean, a lot of things could have definitely been done better. And we'll find out if the pilots could have done anything better. I mean, they're going to blame the pilots anyways, but...
Well, I did hear one pilot analysis that what he said was, like, I don't know too many details of the case, but he was saying that that there was a sharp turn made shortly before the plane went missing, and his suspicion was that
fire on board.
Yeah, there was a fire on board, and they were aiming toward the nearest airport, or the nearest.
You never know, but usually if you're doing that, you know, I don't do trans, you know, oceanic flights and stuff, you know. So communication, all that, what happens when you're flying over the ocean is a little different. Right. But still, from my knowledge, from most cases, even if that were the case, you are communicating with air traffic control.
Right.
So something must have happened where they did not. I mean, we have like a messenger system called the ACARS where you can communicate. We have radio frequencies where you can communicate. We have frequencies that you can dial into our radio to depict that you're in emergency. And many times you also want to communicate it because there's other traffic around. So you want to make sure that air traffic control knows what you're doing so they know to divert, like, you know, other traffic. Also, you never know, air traffic control may be able to give you information that can help you, like a direct route to somewhere, the closest airport on their radar and stuff. So one of your first things you do want to do is communicate that over. So the fact that that didn't happen is just very weird, you know, and I guess that's why there's a lot of suspicion that maybe the pilots did something, or maybe someone broke into the pilot, or something dramatic happened where all communication systems were just broke down, you know, so.
Right.
And that's why everything up to now is just going to be suspicion. Because even me and you don't have all the information that the news is telling us, you know what I mean? The news doesn't even have all the information. Trust me.
No, and the news can be manipulated. I was in military intelligence.
Oh, okay.
I know things that were reported through the news, using the mainstream media as a tool to report things about commercial airliners that had nothing to do with commercial airliners, that were entirely military. You know, things that were happening.
Yeah. Yeah, as a pilot, man, I'm listening to some of the stuff. I'm like. That's when you realize that reporters are really just reporters. And I'm not saying that as an insult or something. But when when you're knowledgeable about whatever's being reported about, you're like, you know, that's when you really realize the news are just reporters. They're literally just reporting every single thing they hear.
Right.
What, aliens land? aliens landed on the Earth, and you know what I mean? Like, they're just reporting everything they hear. Dude, you know what pissed me off? That they were freaking talking about the freaking transponder for a whole week. No, like 10 days. So how easy is it to turn off the transponder? It's like, like the very first day, it should have been, said from those people who do know about the transponder, it should have been said that it's easy. It's just an on and off button.
Right.
In the cockpit. And all the pilots know where it is. You can just turn it off. But they kept on saying it like this: how easy is it to turn off? And then the person who would answer would be like, it's not that difficult. And when you answer like that, it makes it sound like it's a little bit difficult. You know what I mean? I didn't understand why they were talking about that for a whole freaking 10 days. It's a radio, just like your stereo. You turn it on or off, or you press the push button on or off. Just that in the cockpit, it's a switch. You turn it on or off. That's how easy it is. And they were talking about that for 10 days, dude. It just made me realize, like, how much, knowledge lacking the news is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll be right back. All right, hold on one sec.
Sure.